In 1908, an archaeologist dug up a clay disc from Crete that was designed to be read. But no one alive has ever figured out how. I've held documents that changed wars, intercepted cables, battle orders, but I've never held anything quite like the Phaistos Disc, and neither have most of the scholars who have spent their entire careers staring at it. What makes this artifact different isn't what it says. It's that we genuinely don't know if anyone ever will. July 1908. An Italian archaeologist named Luigi Pernier was excavating the Minoan Palace at Phaistos in southern Crete. The site was already legendary: palace ruins, frescoes, evidence of a civilization that had flourished 3,000 years before. Pernier wasn't looking for anything revolutionary that morning. He was just clearing rubble from a storage room. Then he found it. A flat, round disc of terracotta about 6 inches across, weighing roughly half a pound. On both sides, pressed into the clay, were symbols arranged in a spiral, not painted, not carved, stamped, as if someone had used individual stamps like an ancient printing press to create a message. Here's what Pernier didn't know yet. He was holding one of archaeology's great unsolved puzzles. The disc contained 45 different symbols. Some appeared only once. Others repeated across the spiral. The arrangement was deliberate, intentional, but the language, the meaning, still locked away. For over a century, linguists, cryptographers, and amateur code breakers have tried to crack it. I've read the logbook myself. The competing theories alone fill entire archives. Some scholars argued the disc was Minoan, predating even linear script. Others thought it was a forgery. A few claimed it was religious, a prayer, a calendar, a recipe. The truth is simpler and more humbling. We don't know. And the disc, now housed in the Heraklion Museum in Crete, sits behind glass as a monument to human communication itself, not to what was said, but to the fact that someone, 3,000 years ago, felt compelled to say it at all. And that's where the real lesson begins. We live in an age obsessed with clarity, with being heard, with viral messages and algorithms designed to amplify our voices. We assume that if we speak loudly enough, if we encode our message perfectly, someone will understand. The Phaistos Disc teaches something different. It teaches that the act of communication, the sheer human determination to leave a mark, to speak across time, matters more than whether your audience fully receives you. That person in 1700 BCE pressed those stamps into clay knowing they might never meet the reader. They did it anyway. This is the existential weight of the disc. It's not a puzzle to solve. It's a mirror. Every time we write, a journal entry, an email, a message in a bottle, we're making the same bet that Minoan craftsperson made. That meaning can survive the gap between speaker and listener. That silence doesn't erase intention. The disc has never been fully deciphered. Some scholars think it never will be. The Minoan language itself remains only partially understood. Linear script, their writing system, still resists translation. The disc might be a fragment of something larger. A single page from a library we'll never access. But here's what we do know. Whoever made this disc believed in persistence, believed that symbols mattered. That clay could carry meaning across millennia. In an age where most of what we create vanishes in 24 hours, that conviction feels almost radical. I've spent decades reporting on human conflict, on what we destroy. But the Phaistos Disc reminds me of something I've seen in every war zone. People still leave messages, carved into bunker walls, scratched into prison cells, folded into bottles. The medium changes. The impulse doesn't. We're all trying to speak to someone we'll never meet, to be understood across a chasm of time or distance or circumstance. The Phaistos Disc succeeds not because we've cracked its code, but because it makes us ask why we're trying in the first place. That's the philosophy buried in clay, not the content of the message. The courage it took to believe a message was worth preserving. That's what the Minoan craftsperson handed down to us, not answers, but the question itself, and the refusal to stop asking it. So the next time you sit down to write something that matters to you, remember, you're not trying to solve a puzzle. You're stamping your message into clay. And whether or not it's understood, the act itself is the whole point. The Phaistos Disc remains unsolved. It may always remain unsolved, and that's not a failure. It's proof that we tried, that we cared enough to press symbols into clay and trust them to last. That's the real message. That's what survives. Subscribe. Each week, we uncover a piece of ancient wisdom that speaks to how you live right now.